Hello all and welcome to this tutorial. It's nice to have you once again in another video. And we've been considering functions used in Microsoft Excel for financial modeling. And today we're looking at yet another one. We're looking at the index function. The index function is most useful when we build scenarios. And today we're going to see how we could use it to do a scenario here. Now, a scenario is usually built by bringing together assumptions with regards to certain factors that might affect your model. In this case, we're using the inflation rate. And here we have three different rates. We have a max rate, we have a base rate, and we have a minimum rate. And so the assumption would be any of these three. It could even be four. For example, we might want to get the average rate, average rate somewhere here, if that is what we desire. That could be a fourth option here. Whatever the options there are, we can use the index function to pull out any of this rate based on choice, and then this will be featured in our assumption. Let's go straight and see what the index function does. In implementing the index function, we have the equal to sign, and then index, and an open bracket. Although the index function has two different kinds of implementation, we're using the array implementation. So here we are asked to select, let me take out the IntelliSense somewhere here. So it wants us to select an array. That is why this is dark, why these are grayed out. So this is dark. This is what is required now. So I'm going to select all of this. And I have selected a range that has 3 rows and just 1 column. 3 rows and 1 column. So that's going to be our array. And I'm going to put a comma, and then we have in bold row number. I want to leave out this row number for now in order to be able to explain to you what the index function does. Like you know, the index function is a lookup function. And so it has another argument, the column number. But you would notice that the column number has got square brackets around it, indicating that the column number is optional. So in this implementation, we really do not need to bring in a column number. So I'm going to close the bracket and hit my enter button. Yes, we get a value error. So what does the index function really do? Recall that the range selected 3 rows in 1 column. So let's go back to the formula, click on the cell that has the formula, and then in our formula, we are going to, in the row, we need to be able to tell the index function that give me row 1 or row 2 or row 3. And that's why I had all of this here, row 1, 1, 2, and 3. So if I should put the number 1 in the place for row number and hit my enter button, notice that it gives us the first item in the 3 rows that the formula is referencing. So let's make this percent. So that is it. It gives us that. And then if I should go back to our formula and use the number 2 for roll number, notice that it gives us the second one. And so it will for the third one if we have 3 here. And so that's it. So it makes it an ideal option when we are building scenarios. There are other options and we are going to explore them. But for this video, we are looking at the index function. So wouldn't it be nice that rather that we had code the roll number inside the formula, there should be somewhere we could select and get this number 3? Of course, yes, that would be better. And so what we're going to do is use this cell and build a data validation in this cell. So I'm going to select this cell, pick data, go to the data tool group, and then we pick data validation. The drop down button gives us options, and in this option we are picking data validation. Having selected data validation and the dialog box that comes out, we'll go to the allow bar here and then choose list, because we have a list that we want to choose from. And then we go to the source and then select this list. And so that will be all for now. That's just what we need to implement it. You could have you could have inputs for the input message and the error message, but for now we just want to leave it at its basic and then click OK. So that means we could select any of these here. We could select any of them. And one thing we could do for this cell, we could, from the Home tab, and go and build a custom format such that it would help us know that we're picking either option 1, option 2, or option 3. So I'm going to put quotation marks option and close the quotation and have a hashtag there. So it helps us know that this is option 3. So let's have a space inside the quotation marks so that it gives us a space between option and the number. So I'm going to click on OK here. And so here it tells us we have, when we select anyone, it shows us that this is option 1, option 2, option 3. However, we know that when we look at the formula bar, we're going to have the number 1 there. Option will not be there. It will just be the number 1. And this is what formulas actually are using. So having done this, as where our users would select whatever option they want, we could go back to our index formula, and then here where we have hard-coded 3, we're going to take it out and bring it here. So we reference this cell, which would be 1, 2, or 3, as the case may be. And because we're going to copy this formula across columns, it's going to be in the same row. So the row is not changing. But across columns, we need to make E2, the column identity, fixed. So I'm hitting my F4, and my F4 would put a $sign just behind the column identity, behind E. so we can comfortably hit our enter. So you can see it gives us what we want. So if I should move it to 2, if I should select 2, that is it. So our users need not go into the index function. They only need to take the option here. So they need to just select an option here, and then it gives us this. So having gotten this, we can copy all to the right with this. So you can see that each function looks in here for its for any of the rates here. Is looking at here, but it's looking at this cell where we select the option that we want to use. So in this way, we are able to select which scenario to use and then implement it in the model. Because we have a section that lists scenarios, most of the time this could be in another sheet. But in this example, we're using it in the same sheet. You would have a section for assumptions. So in this section for assumptions, you could easily reference, using the equal to sign, reference the applied option in your scenario. So here it is. So I'm going to copy it down too. So at any point in time, when users look at your options, they will find that for inflation rate, this is the option running in the model. And should they want to change this option running in the model, they can easily come here and do a select of an option, and that option will be applied here. So this is how the index function works. But one thing you may have noticed is that here the user has to select an option, option 1, option 2, or option 3. Wouldn't it be nice if the user selects max rate, base rate, or minimum rate, and that automatically helps the index function to select the appropriate rate? Well, to do that, we will need the match function. The match function will be able to help us implement that easily. So in the next video, we'll be looking at the match function, and that will help us to see how the index and the match can be combined to help us do lookups. So for now, I want you to understand how the index function works, because for some individuals, by the time you bring in the match function, they get confused. But if you study each of these functions one after the other and understand what they do, it is easy to combine them to create formulas that will do your job in financial models. So this is all for this video. I hope you learned something. I hope to see you in upcoming videos. Thank you very much for watching.